What's up, YouTube world? It's the kid, Sean DeLorean, aka DeLorean's World, and we are back. If you are new to the channel, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell for me. So today I wanted to get on here and discuss with you guys a little story time. And the story is basically about when I was 21 years old and had got cheated on for the first time ever. And I was just so young and didn't know much about dating and love and how evil spirited humans can be. Excuse me. So this started when I was 21 years of age. I had met this guy through a dating app that my friend had told me about. And once we had met, we had hung out a few times. It was very, very smooth and cool. There was really no red flags. But again, like I stated before, I was young, naive, and didn't know too much about people and love or like or lust. And I really didn't know too much about red flags as well. So going forward, everything was cool. We kicked it for a few weeks, I believe, prior to me meeting his mom. And when I met his mom, I hate to say this, but I believe she was a recovering crackhead. Just because how she moved and how she spoke and how fidgety she was and just how, like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it was just giving crackhead. So I met her. She was cool, just very, very fidgety and kind of weird acting a little bit, but overall cool. So going forward, I'll say probably about 2 months in, and please don't judge me. Please do not judge me, okay? 2 months in, we decided to get an apartment together. Now, just to backtrack a little, I have no kids. He had a kid. And I believe his child was maybe, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even remember the age. But he was young, very, very young. And the mother wasn't really in his life. She was young too, so I think she was a little just like ignorant and I don't know, still out living her life like a child herself. So the father was basically taking care of the child for the most part, to my knowledge anyway. And the grandma, his mother, was also a huge part of taking care of the child as well. So just for story time, I'm just going to say that the man's name was Trey. And his son's name was Trey Jr. So going forward, back to us moving in together, I'll say 2 months. Literally within the first week, he's like, hey, can, little Trey move with us as well? We had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, so I didn't mind at all. And the kid was kind of cool. Like, he was real cool. We ended up getting close within like no time. And that's probably because I was only 21 years old and I was a kid as well. So going forward, I'll say, like I stated, probably about a month and a half after living together, I decided that I was going to go downstairs and wash clothes, because basically how the apartment was set up, it's a little older. It was an older apartment, so we didn't have washer and dryer unit. In the unit, we had to go down to the basement and actually use like quarters and things like that to actually wash and dry our clothes. So the dad was upstairs asleep in the room, and the son little Trey had came downstairs in the basement while I was washing clothes, and he basically was like, hey Sean, what is this? Now hold on, because I'm about to show you exactly how he did it. So the kid was like, Sean, what is this? So I'm looking like, hold on now. That's your phone or whose phone is that? He's like, oh, that's my dad's phone. So I'm looking through the phone. Guess what? It's a whole fucking gay dating app on the phone. And I wouldn't even say it was a dating app. It was actually Grindr, which is a gay hookup app. So of course, I took the phone from him and told him to go upstairs. And I started going through the phone, and come to find out, this man was messaging other guys about hooking up and flirting and just exchanging pictures and everything like that. So I'm furious at that point because, again, I never experienced anything like that before. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I never really been hurt too much in my life. So that was a hurtful moment for me. So I decided to go ahead and go through the text messages and the recent calls because I'm like, well, if you want a gay dating app or a gay hookup app, then more than likely you're probably exchanging numbers and pictures with people. You know what I mean? So I went through the text messages. When I say it was probably about 15 different guys that he was actually texting back and forth and sending pictures and video messages back and forth with. So I mean, the recent calls, I couldn't really do too much with that because I just didn't know. So there was a particular number. Oh no, I'm sorry. I have to go back with this story. I'm sorry. Hold it right there because I missed out the key part. Just to go back a little bit, when we were initially dating, he had his own place and I actually stayed with my mom. So when I first met him, he invited me over to his place like a few times. I actually spent the night and everything. It was cool. Hold that right there. So he had a place. He invited me over a few times. When we decided to move together, he ended up telling me that he had left that place and he no longer lives there. And he had, of course, moved in with me. So I believe that he didn't bring any furniture or anything because he told me he was starting fresh with me. So he only brought clothes and stuff like that. So let's go back to the basement and me checking his phone and the text messages and the gay dating app. So I'm going through the text messages and one text message stood out like to me because it was just, I don't know, a little bit more detail. And I don't know, I'm very intuitive a little bit. So I don't know, that message just stuck out to me. So I get to reading through that message and it was just like, hey babe, how you doing today? It was messages of like them basically stating that they, have hung out recently and he wanted to see him again and he loved him and stuff like that. So for me, when a message states that I love you, that means that y'all are in a relationship or there was something long term. So I ended up taking my phone, getting that number specifically, and then going outside of the apartment complex and calling the number. So when I called the number, a guy had picked up. And, although I was young, I was very respectful and kind of like a little bit mature for my age. So I was like, hey, my name is Sean, and my man is, Trey. And I was just trying to see, respectfully, what's going on. I see the text messages and you guys are kicking it back and forth. Like, are you together? What's going on? So he let me know that they've been together for 4 or 5 years. Again, 4 or 5 years prior to us getting together. So you already know I'm just sitting there like messed up in the head because I'm like, what? Like, me and him been kicking it for 3 or 4 months. I met his mom. His child lives with us. Like, I'm confused on how you could have been together for 4 or 5 years, but me and him together every day for the past 3 or 4 months. So all of that actually checked out to be true. Me being young, I called Trey mother. Cause I don't know, like he and his mom had like a really like close relationship. So I don't know, something just made me want to call his mom. So I called his mom and I'm like, hey, I just found out that, Trey is basically cheating on me or, cheating on his other boyfriend at this point. So she started like taking up for him, but like in a weird way. As if like she knew more information, regarding the other guy. She did. She definitely, like 100%, she did. So once I got off the phone with her, because I was just upset, I ran into the house. I woke him up out his sleep, and I'm like, hey, again, what's this? I just got off the phone with, this guy, and he states that, y'all are together and you are his boyfriend, and you guys have been together for 4 or 5 years. So he hops up out the bed and kind of like start looking dumb, like stupid, as if like he just didn't know what was going on. He grabbed his phone and ran outside, and I'm assuming he called his mom. So I started like immediately packing up like his clothes and his shoes and shit like that. And his mom didn't stay too far away, so she ended up coming over and grabbing little Trey. So I literally threw all his clothes and his shoes like outside, and I told him he had to leave, and I locked the door to the apartment. So he decides that he wants to, okay, the mom and little Trey had left already. He decided that he wants to stay at the apartment and kind of like beg and bang on the door and everything like that. So I'm like, whatever, when you hurt me, I'm like, it's a wrap. Like, I don't play them type of games. Like, especially, I'm such a sweetheart. When you hurt my feelings, it's just over for you. There's no coming back to me. And that's truly how I felt. And mind you, the apartment was actually just in my name. It wasn't even attached to his name. So again, once I locked the door, I put him out. He wound up just literally staying at the house, not leaving. So I called the police, because at this point, it's probably been like an hour or two, and you're just still here banging on the door, still trying to beg and plead. And I'm like, there's nothing for us to talk about. Like, this is a wrap. Like, it's over for. So the police get there and they're like, hey, unfortunately, you have to let him in because he has stated that he's lived here for over 30 days. And although his name is not on the lease, technically, if someone has stayed there for more than 30 days, then this is his home as well. So look, I'm getting pissed all over again. I'm just getting pissed. Because what? So, I wound up letting him in. I started being so fucking irritated. Like, I was doing shit like just so I can get him out of there. Like banging pots and pans and doing all type of ignorant shit just so I can get him up out of there. I did not want him there. So I called his mom and I'm like, yo, come get this man, please. Because it's about to be hell in this hole if he don't leave and get out my space. So she wound up coming back so she could pick him up. And I guess he wound up going outside for a minute to, talk to her. I locked the door again. Do you know this man kicked in my door? Again, kicked in the door so he can get a fucking, 50 or 60 inch TV from out the house when he was leaving. Cause I'm that petty. Like when I'm mad, like, I don't know, I see red and it's just a wrap for me. Like there's no coming back from that. So he wound up kicking in the door, like literally knocking the fucking hinges and the bolts off the door. Pissed. So I wound up having my friend come over and kind of fix that situation. They ended up leaving. Mind you, I still had that number and I had to talk to his boyfriend or whatever they were. And the following morning, the boyfriend had called my phone, and he was like, "Hey, we should link up and talk more about it." And I'm like, "Cool, I'm off work today. That's cool." I actually I'm thinking the whole night. My mind is just running the whole night. So I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. Like I want some clarity. I want some, trust." So the following morning, he ended up shooting me an address. The boyfriend. He ended up shooting me an address. Guess where the fuck the address led me to? Trey initial apartment. Remember I told y'all that he had an apartment once I first met him, and I have been over there a few times or whatever. It was Trey apartment, Trey initial apartment of what I thought. It was actually their apartment together. They were living together when I met Trey. Didn't know. So we ended up just talking more about the time and what had went on, and just Trey and all the lies. Oh my God, so many lies. And about Trey's mom being a crackhead, and how she just was so evil, and kind of just always stood up for him and rode for him, and knew about both of us. Like I told y'all before, she knew about both of us. So that was that. One more big ass lie that pissed me off. Oh my God, this pissed me off. Oh, it made me cry. He lied about where the hell he worked at. Ugh. So when we first got together, he had a car. Oh my God, Lord, I'm leaving out so much. But when we first got together, he had a car, and the car wound up being there. Well, the boyfriend's. But anyways, he told me something had happened to the car when we first got together. So I would drive him around, or he would use my car or whatever. So prior to me going to work, he had to be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So our schedule was me dropping him off at work, and then me going to work, and then me picking him up, or he would have a friend or someone from the job drop him off at the house once he got off work. So every morning for 5 days a week, I would take him to a parking lot where he stated that his coworker would come pick him up and take him to the job. And the job was supposed to be at the hospital. So again, I thought the man worked at the hospital. He would wear scrubs and everything. Everything. Only thing I didn't see an ID, but I don't know, I wasn't thinking that deep into it. You say you work at the hospital, I'm like, that's not too far-fetched. So every morning, again, I would drop him off at a parking lot or at his cousin's house, and he would say that someone would take him to the job, because it was way out the way, farther away from where I actually worked at. Going forward, I found out that this man worked at a whole restaurant. And I'm not talking about a Red Lobster or Ocean Prime or a Red Chris. Not that. This man worked at a restaurant called Culver's. And Culver's is comparison to a McDonald's up north. So it was literally a fast food restaurant. And the whole time, you had me believing that you worked at a hospital. When I say I just felt during that whole experience, I was just getting played all through, and I didn't see any red signs. I don't think I care for him that much, because I didn't really care for him. I think it was just more so I was probably already going through my own trauma for my dad passing. And I wasn't really thinking too much clearly. I was just trying to have somebody there. Because there's no way that at this grown age I am now that all of those things will pass by me and I just not notice any of that. This man then had a whole nother life, a whole nother boyfriend, a whole nother apartment. Your mom knew about both of us. Your child Because the child was staying with them as well. Your child knew about both of us. You, like, I don't know. It's hard to process that people are able to maneuver like that. Like, that's just insane to have two different lives with two different people and the lies that you have to keep up with. And it just kills me, the job part, because you said you worked at a hospital, but you work at a whole fast food joint. And again, nothing is wrong with a fast food joint, but it's the lies. Like, I would have rather you went ahead and told me where you worked at. I still would have been with you. I was young. I was 20 years old, 21 years old. But yeah, that was my first time getting cheated on. And to my knowledge, that's my only time being cheated on. But I just want to get on here and share that story with you guys because it had run across my mind. And I'm like, I never even told nobody this story before, actually. So, again, if you're new to this channel, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And again, my name is Sean DeLorean, aka DeLorean's World. And we are out, baby.